For this video, we're going to show you how to interpret the discriminant. Now, the discriminant is part of the quadratic formula. You can see we have the quadratic formula here. Specifically, the discriminant is the part that's underneath the radical component. And you can see right here we have that written out as b squared minus 4ac. The primary purpose of the discriminant is to tell us how many solutions we end up having in our quadratic. And you can see right here, if your b squared minus 4ac is greater than 0, that means you have a positive value fitting underneath the radical here. When you take the square root of it, you're going to have two solutions, one plus, one minus. And that's how we end up with two solutions where our discriminant is greater than 0. Now, if our b squared minus 4ac equals 0, that means you have a square root of 0 here, and there's no such thing as plus or minus 0 changing the problem. That's an identity question. So you end up with just one solution, which ends up being this negative b over 2a. So we have one solution there. But if our b squared minus 4ac is less than 0, that means it's a negative number. You can't put a negative number under the radical here and try to take the square root, because the square root of a negative does not exist. So we say there's no solutions. Technically, we say there's no real solutions. There are complex or imaginary solutions that are involved in this. We'll talk about that another time. Here's an example of a quadratic that's missing a c value, and we can answer the value of c that causes 2, 1, or no solutions. So we're going to use a value is 1 and our b value is negative 4, and we're just going to leave c as c. So let's come up with a two-solution scenario. So b terms, we're going to bring down our b squared. So b squared is going to be 16 minus, now we've got 4 times a, which is going to be 4, times c, some c value. And to have two solutions, it needs to be greater than 0. So I want this to be greater than 0. So I'm going to go ahead and solve that. So negative 4c is greater than negative 16. Divide by negative c on both sides, or negative 4 on both sides. And don't forget, when you divide by negative here, this does have to flip. So negative 16 divided by negative 4 gives us a positive 4. So this equation will have two solutions as long as you pick a value for c that is smaller than positive 4. And that's how that works. We can do the same thing for one solution. So make it equal 0. So 16 greater than 16 minus 4c is equal to 0. So we have negative 4c equals negative 16, and c equals positive 4. So at exactly 4 here, we'll have one solution, because that will cause a 0 to occur underneath the radical. And I'm going to put the other one side by side here. So negative, or 16 minus 4c, we want it to be less than 0. So negative 4c is going to be less than negative 16. Divide by negative, don't forget to change your sign. So any c value greater than 4. So once you determine this one right here, gives you two solutions. So this is two solutions. Then if you were to flip that sign around like this, now you get no solutions on that case. The number you get here, if you set equal to it, will always give you one solution.